Hey guys, it's Rick Kakis, and before I start this video, I just want to quickly say I'm starting a new channel, not a secondary channel. My new main channel is just going to be at Rick Kakis, and there should be a annotation to take you there if you want to go subscribe. If you even remotely like my stuff, I'd appreciate a subscribe, and if you know Battlefield weapon reviews, and all my videos are going to be there with Force, and that's pretty much it. So jumping right into the Call of Duty, how to make the perfect Black Ops 2. Now, just so you know, for some background, I've been playing Call of Duty since I got, what's it called? Finest Hour for the GameCube, and I've been playing pretty much every single Call of Duty since. And so, I've been playing Call of Duty before the Call of Duty 4, where that's where the multiplayer really changed. Now, how to make Black Ops 2 perfect. I'm going to jump right in. Perks are the first thing I'm going to talk about. The main perk complaint / issue all revolves around Assassin, and I think Assassin is totally overused, and it's definitely not to stopping power level in use, but the problem with Assassin is it doesn't just create a bunch of assassin bitches who run around and can't get kills facing you, so they have to get behind and they get a good score, but in reality they're not that good. But then again, people who use Assassin, maybe they're just smarter than everyone else. They're certainly taking advantage of the system, while the rest of us are suffering at the hands of it. Anyway, the problem with Assassin is causing is a lot of you complain about the spawns in this game, and that's partially because of how overused Assassin is. If you think about other games, firstly they had way better map design, but because of the stopping power, everyone would just go out and try to kill the other guys. So you'd have a main kind of battle going on. And where this battle was, you'd simply spawn one team on one side and the other team on the other side, and they'd basically run forward with a little bit of deviation, I suppose, but all meet in the middle in one sense. With this game, because you have all the assassin players, constantly kids are taking the back routes and trying to flank, and while in Modern Warfare 2, it was one or two kids with cold-blooded would try to do this. With this game, it's a bunch of kids. So you have players scattered all over the map, and so it makes spawning with your teammates harder to do. And if it does spawn you with a teammate, it may be in a compromising location. So Assassin is, in some ways, fucking up the spawns. Now, how do you solve this? You either nerf Assassin, which is they're probably going to do, and David von der Haar, which is like the Robert Boeing of Treyarch, has talked about a lot of really good ideas, like you only show up on one of every 2 UAV sweeps. Assassin only works when you're moving, stuff like that. These are all like really good ideas that I hope they implement. Now, the two more radical ideas that would solve it is bringing back stopping power. And I'm actually in favor of bringing back stopping power just because it seems like they don't get the hint that they need to increase the power of guns to Modern Warfare 2 with stopping power levels, which they need to do, which I'll talk about a little later. And it would also put Assassin right back in check. Now, another thing they would do, and I know stopping power thing is really controversial. I know a lot of people don't like that, and I don't really think they're going to do that. Another thing they could do, which is an interesting thought, is they could remove Assassin altogether like they did with stopping power and add a totally new perk. They could add, for example, Bling, but it would add 3 attachments. And this would fix the problem. It would change the game so it would be more it would be less stealth gameplay. What you would have to do is take away you couldn't have UAVs up all the time, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit, but that's another way you could solve Assassin, is just by taking it out of the game. Now, for kill streaks, talking about that, if you removed UAV, if you removed Assassin, you'd have to lessen the UAVs, otherwise no one could play stealthy. So I think support kill streaks need to go, period. Whether they remove Assassin or not, support kill streaks need to go. And I've been thinking a lot about this, and it's not like I use support kill streaks a lot, and I like them, but players who are 50 and 24 should not be getting stealth bombers. That is completely ridiculous. That goes against everything COD stands for. COD was built on the basis of it's easy to play COD, but it's hard to get good at. And too many times with the death streaks and everything, it seems like they're trying to pander to the shitty players and help them out. And unfortunately, the shitty players are a vocal minority, and they have screwed up a lot of things in this game. They bitch on the forums and stuff, and they've screwed up a bunch of things in this game, which I'll talk about just a little bit. But yeah, support kill streaks need to go. But some of the ideas that they've implemented in Modern Warfare 3, like getting a point streak for capturing an objective, need to stay. Also, they could think about, what about getting a kill streak for capturing an objective or completing an objective? So if you captured a Dom flag, you get an advanced UAV, or you get a pred, but it wouldn't count towards your kill streak. You just get something for playing the objective. This would encourage shitty players who can't get preds on their own to try to play harder to get objectives, and I think that would be a good thing. Also, what they need to do is have a separate tier of perks, a completely different tier of perks just for kill streaks. And I think this would be super cool, because if you remember back to the COD 5 days, it had a totally different set of kill streaks just for your tank perk. I think they should do this again, but with kill streak perks. Like there would be kill streaks like one more flare for helicopters, or AC1, like not necessarily AC-130s, but like manned kill streaks last 10 seconds longer, or UAVs last 15 seconds longer, and you'd only get to pick one. I think that would be a whole new step in customization. I think that would be really fun. Moving on to weapons, I think that stopping power I don't think is going to be introduced. I'm not stupid enough to think to really be going hard for the reintroduction of stopping power. I'm realistic, and I don't think that's going to happen. But what they need to do is increase the gun damage to Modern Warfare 2 with stopping power levels. What happened in Modern Warfare 2 is the guns in Modern Warfare 2 were not more powerful. In fact, they're less powerful than they are in Modern Warfare 3. The problem was everyone used stopping power in normal core. All my examples are basically normal core game modes. So think about this. Everyone used guns with stopping power. So when they took it out, they didn't necessarily nerf the guns like in Black Ops. Everything felt weak as shit in Black Ops though, because everyone was like, what the hell? It's because everyone assumed when they thought of no stopping power is when they imagined the COD they wanted, it was with guns with stopping power automatically in them. And that's what COD should be. There should... In Modern Warfare 2 with stopping power, did anyone think the guns were overpowered? Did anyone really think that the Scar H, it killed in 2 hits up close, 2, which is more than any other assault rifle does now, except for the MK14. But did anyone say, oh, the Scar H is overpowered? No, because the TAR was fighting for its place, and the ACR was a death laser. So it was just so much more, it was just more quick gameplay. It encouraged aggressive gameplay, and the high damage also fought through the connection. In COD, in Modern Warfare 2, you could get by with a 3-bar because your guns were just putting forth so much damage that even if the first 2 shots didn't register, you'd still kill the guy first. And if you add if you take down the damage just a little bit, that extra shot is going to end up screwing you over so much because the host advantage is just so much more obvious. Now, also, the guns need to have less recoil. If you think about the only really super accurate gun without kick is the ACR, and that's not even that accurate without kick, but so used because everyone's just like, wow, this gun's so accurate. No, in Modern Warfare 2 standards, it's not even that good. The problem when they screwed over the accuracy and added so you basically have to have kick on all these different weapons, like the CM901 is basically like unusable without kick. It's bullshit. It takes away from the accuracy and the precision of the game. And before, people would like go for headshots. Like people would go out of their way to try to get headshots. People could snipe you from like if you have a sniper and I had an ACR and you had a sniper rifle, we were evenly matched. I could take you down from your rooftop pretty easily. And that's what you need in a game. That and better map design with more fucking sightlines, and you've got the COD you've always wanted. Because right now it's not about accurate headshot gameplay, like Twitch gameplay. It's just about running around with the gun with the highest rate of fire and hip firing, or shotguns and stuff. Most people, that's why the SMGs, most people don't even bother to aim down sights. Why? Because it's just, you'll get more kills just spraying bullets everywhere. Because there's not the level of accuracy and precision that there was in the previous games. And I think that needs to be changed. So, more attachments also. Call of Duty hasn't even scratched the surface of attachments. They have absolutely we think that there's more attachments. There's not even close to what they could add. If you ever have like read like a gun magazine or like looked at an advertisement in a gun magazine, they'll have like the picture of like an M4 or something, and all around it will be all these different attachments. Like think about this. Just spitballing here, they could add stock attachments where you could have recoil dampering stock, which would increase like accuracy, or they could have a folding stock where it would be like a hybrid sight. So you press a D-pad and you could fold your stock, and then your gun would have, you could use your gun, it would have better hipfire accuracy, but when you aimed out sights, it would have more recoil. And then you could unfold it to do the opposite. That would be super fun. I think that would be awesome. You could use, you wouldn't have to have an MP5K. You could make your own MP5K with a folding stock. That would be fun as hell. Why don't they do it? I don't know. They're just fucking lazy, I guess. And think about all the optical attachments. At least Black Ops had like the reflex sight, and then the other one. They had like 2 red dot sights. They weren't even that like different, but it was just personal preference. But why not? Think of if you ever played Battlefield. Battlefield has a Cobra sight, and then they just have the American red dot sight. They are functionally the exact same. It was just personal preference. Like, I prefer the Cobra sight, but you just want that customization and that personalization there, because why not? It's not like Infinity Ward's underfunded, for God's sakes. I'm pretty sure they can spend the money to make a few more like attachments, and I'm talking not a few more, like I'm talking like 5 or 10 more attachments. I think that would be easy to ask for. They could take a cue from Battlefield, add flashlights and stuff to the game. I think that would be very laser sights and stuff like that. They haven't even experimented with the real, like, where you could go with attachments. For God's sakes, at least add a grip for the assault rifles. That's way overdone. I mean, that's way overdue. General gameplay now. The spawns. Everyone knows the spawns of Modern Warfare are shit. They're still shit after they've done a whole bunch with them. They've completely actually ruined domination and demolition because the spawns are so bad. It's unbelievable. I've spawned, when I was on the attacking team in demolition, I've spawned 5 feet away from the bomb site. That is ridiculous. That should never, ever, ever happen. And also, if you've been playing domination recently, you notice that when you get A and B, say, and you're kind of moving towards a spawn trap in C, they spawn at A and they capture it, and then you're down to just B. That's ridiculous. That should never happen. And why are the spawns so bad? Because these games are spawn trap phobic. They are afraid to have spawn traps. Now, spawn traps, I'm gonna say something a little bit controversial, but I believe you must allow spawn traps with the spawning. And I know some of you are gonna be like, hey, what the hell? Spawn traps sucked in Modern Warfare 2. No, they didn't. You sucked. When I played Modern Warfare 2, I rarely got spawn trapped. I would have one more friend. I'd be playing with like one friend, and we'd rarely get spawn trapped because we were good. It was the shitty teams and the shitty players that got spawn trapped. Yes, every once in a while, the guy got a helicopter, and there was literally nothing you could do. But guess what? Rage quit. And I guarantee you're going to rage quit less for getting spawn trapped than you are for just getting spawn killed relentlessly in Modern Warfare, or just having completely shitty spawns in Modern Warfare 3. So I think you should be able to spawn trap. Not to the extent of Modern Warfare 2, but for God's sakes, be able to have one team spawn trapping the other team. You should spawn with your teams, and if your team is too shitty to get out of the spawn trap, it was easy to get out of the spawn trap in Modern Warfare 2. If you guys forget, one player just has to flank around and get around, and everyone spawns on him, and then you fuck the spawn trapping team, because they're all facing the remaining guys. So it was not that big a deal. I think the vocal minority of shitty players that got spawn trapped way too much because they were bad went to the forums and just bitched, and then the spawns became like now you can't spawn trap, and they're afraid of spawn trapping. And especially in objective games, it's fucking over objective games. You have to be able to spawn trap in domination. That is the whole point of domination, to dominate. Now, back to maps. Maps, for God's sakes, need to have more sightlines. If you think of Favela, was Favela a large map? No, but it has massive sightlines. If you think back to Favela's sightlines, it's pretty much as good as Seatown sightlines. Finally, the new maps, like I've played Black Box, and I'm a huge fan of Black Box because it has super long sightlines. Black Box, they're finally figuring it out. They finally figured out that you can run around with a PP90M1 with Black Box. In fact, it's easy. You just have to stick to the houses and stick to the close range spots. But if you go in the open, you're fucked. And if you don't want to die from a PP90M1 using bitch, you just put a Barrett and post yourself in the open, or like make sure there's long sight lines from coming to you. And that's what Call of Duty should be. It doesn't allow, like, this Call of Duty doesn't allow the sniper rifles to be used properly. Guess what? The sniper rifles are actually long range guns. I know a lot of you have forgotten that, but they're not meant for quickscoping. And quickscoping is made so easy now. The maps are so small, and quickscoping is made even easier that it's not cool anymore to quickscope. Like in Modern Warfare 2, you get quickscope, you'd be like, oh, you know, I accept my death. Like, that guy quickscoped me, I got fucked. Like, oh well. In this game, you're like, great, this 12-year-old just fucking quickscoped me. Like, who cares? You're not cool anymore for quickscoping. And yeah, if you're amazing at quickscoping, that's still like good for you. But everyone can do it so easily now that it's lost some of its majesty. And I think they need to make it a little bit harder to quickscope, because I think it's too easy in this game. Not Black Ops hard, that was ridiculous, because no one really used sniper rifles in Black Ops. But they need to make it a little bit harder, I think, for sure. And yeah, they need better maps. They should just, for Black Ops 2 should just have Modern Warfare 2 maps. Just have all the same exact maps. I would actually be so happy with that. I also, color contrast. For Christ's sake, is it just me, or, like, I don't wear glasses. My vision, I have perfect vision, but I have a hard time seeing people a lot of the time. Like, is literally, like, especially on downturn, I literally cannot see people, because everything is brown, and I just can't see people. They need to have people stand out more. Like, think of Subbase. Subbase it was a snow map, and the Navy SEAL guys on it were, like, black. They had black diving suits on. They stood out, so you could actually see people without putting marksman on. Like, marksman is the only way I can see people properly. And I think that's ridiculous. You need to have more color contrast. Okay, moving on. Customizable characters. For the love of God, how long have we been waiting for this? Rainbow Six Vegas 2 did this forever ago, and even if it doesn't necessarily have to be practical things. You could easily have, like, a gun, an extra, like, gun belt for, you'd have one more magazine, or you have one more grenade, and you could pick between the two. And that would already be cool customization. But even if it's just for aesthetics, like just for looks, why the hell can't your guy wear sunglasses? Or a gas mask? Like, why can't I choose my guy and I want him to wear aviator sunglasses? Why not? Why the fuck not? Call of Duty has millions of dollars. It has raped us all out of our money. Every year we spend, it's like a new record-breaking sale. They have enough money that they can, if I want to put aviator sunglasses on my guy to look cool, why the hell can't I? And if you're sitting there saying, well, that's dumb. No, it's just a simple thing that would just make the game just a little bit funner, and you could customize how your guy looks. Why the hell not? It's absolutely ridiculous that they haven't included this. It's almost like they're lazy. Like, they could include all of these things so easily. They're so well funded. They make so much money that they don't, and I don't get it. Adding a little bit of personal customization to your guy is not going to unbalance the game at all. And it's an easy thing to do, and it would just make the game more fun. Last thing, I think camos should be re-earned by headshots. The camos have just lost some of their majesty because you could just use a gun and you get kills with it. It's whatever. In Modern Warfare 2, you had to work for your camos. You had to, like, get the headshots. It was hard to do, but you respected people more. If you had, like, Red Tiger for at F2000, people were like, that guy's a beast with that gun. And you were a beast with that gun because you got all the headshots, unless you're boosting shit. But I think it's lost some of its special, like, oh, you're using a Type 95 with gold camo. Good fucking job. Good job. You and everyone else in the game has it. It doesn't mean anything. I think they really need to go back to headshots earn camos. And that's pretty much it, aside from the fact that if they use COD points again in Black Ops 2, I'm going to punch someone. That was retarded. I hope you enjoyed this video, and yeah, please subscribe to my new channel. It really helped me out. And as always, have a nice day.